Your start?
Yeah. How did I end up in Web3? Well, great question. Good start. I didn't get into vet school initially, and hence that I had a gap year. I went volunteering in Sweden, and one thing led to another. In the middle of nowhere, the person I was staying with was fully in crypto. And so this was in 2016, and he introduced me to everything. And then after that, I did the whole circuit of being a normal person in society and finishing university, but I reconnected with my old acquaintance, who's now my co-founder, in 2020, and he introduced to me that social crypto exists, and there's a bunch of things that I didn't know about, and I deep dived, and since then I'm full-time. In my opinion, for small projects, communities, and big, large ecosystem, including L1s and L2s, community gives sustainability, legitimacy, and distribution. And so this is relevant for the small ones, the small players, like kind of personal groups, and where people just organize based around interests and fuel curiosity. And also in terms of big protocols who need active participants who help them test the product and participate in their ecosystem and drive their growth and give feedback for the product. So I think, this whole thing started out when owning tokens was a thing. And so communities became a different aspect than they were before. It gave such a unique use case that we never had. And in my opinion, now we see, many of you might agree, it went into kind of like the farming thing based on what the market is established now in terms of mentality. I don't specifically like it, but I think there's space for having both the farmer mentality, which fuels growth actually, and a lot of the activity and usage that a lot of like layer 2, layer 1 protocols see, and also still identifying the actual happy participants who are very passionate and curious about the space or the project or the community itself, and are very aligned with the long-term mission. And our job kind of is finding the balance of providing a space for both of these. So yeah, I think that's the core value for what communities do in the space for us, and why I like participating in communities is just follow your interest and curiosity and make friends. Make friends. Guild, it's just as an introduction, it's an automated access/membership tool and infrastructure. And in the past 2 years, we've helped a very different range of communities to grow and establish their memberships and roles. And what the core value proposition is moving forward is what I just described with communities, is helping identifying members who are actually interested and automating the processes of signaling interest, participation, identifying the specific types of members, and then re-engaging them. So through access and our guild model of requirements, roles, and rewards, we have this very easy to use system to set up larger goals for growth, and then also in the middle of the funnel, the role systems, so that you know who you're talking to in a community. And I like to say this analogy of, and I'll say it tomorrow in my talk as well, that dictatorship at the door and democracy on the dance floor. And I think that applies to communities as well, and Guild helps a ton with that, because I believe that if you find out the good requirements that you can set for the access, being inside for everyone who got there based on who they are, their internet history, their data, their assets in their wallets, their whole Web3 journey, based on those, when you get in, it's a much different experience, because the people you meet on the inside who also got in based and got those roles will have so much in common with you. It's wonderful. So it allows much deeper and easier connections to form. And I think in this online world, that is a very big help, that you have more context than other people, because you share the interests and you automatically know that based on their roles in the whole community and what position they're in and what their opinions are maybe, and also, kind of more color into who they are. Okay, what's next for Guild?
What's next? Can you say something new?
Yeah, so we ventured into a little bit of releasing our first ever on-chain anything as a project, and they are called pins. It's a small little NFT that's non-transferable, and you can mint it after joining a guild. So when you have at least one role within a community, you get to mint this. And this opened up a whole new pathway of things that you can mint on chain. And obviously we were thinking about this, like this wasn't a one-day decision, it was very strategically planned. But also the response from the community and the users has been so overwhelmingly positive that we got a lot of feedback as to putting more things on chain as well. And we've been dreaming about this for so long. So we are going in the direction of putting roles on chain and getting more rewards. So when you satisfy the requirements, get the roles, you get on-chain things as rewards that are native to Guild as well, because it's just the logical next step. There's plenty of projects that you can use and that we have integrated already, like POAP and a bunch of other badge protocols that you can use, but you can still use them. We still have them integrated, but it just makes so much sense that you're in the flow. Why should you go over to another website and do the things? It's much easier that we also provide a solution for that, for comfort, better UX. So that's one that we're planning. Otherwise, we're always in the motion of growth and strengthening. And right now, we're kind of doing both, which is really interesting. But over the summer, we'll have a new API, the second version of it. It's been out for like a year and a half now, and we have over 1,000 downloads per week, and we haven't changed it. So now we're doing a big update on the API because Guild is very useful as a product, as a tool itself. I use it every day that way. But I think the real power is actually in our infrastructure and the usage of that through SDK, through our API, because that's where people will have the actual freedom who know how to code to put it in their own websites, their own applications. And that's when Guild becomes massively more useful, when it's not just, you can set up new roles and requirements in other apps as well, not just on Guild, and use those roles everywhere else, not just in Discord, Telegram, or whatever we integrated, but whatever other people integrated. That's when the network effect truly comes in handy to be extremely valuable. And I can't wait to see more of those happening, because I think there's so many great products in the space that just need the little push, and we can help them with that, with managing the uniqueness, the access, and the permissioning in their own apps and products. There's about 10 or 15 projects that already use the SDK on a daily basis for this specifically. And the progress just been wonderful to see. So I'm really excited to see the new integrations that will come from the V2 of the API.